And now, this is what you've been waiting for. Michigan Mike's College Picks, Week 4. Welcome back, everybody, to Week 4 of Michigan Mike's College Picks. I'm your co-host, Mr. Michigan Mike. Over here to the left is Mr. P.O. Coulter. What's up, P.O.?
What's going on, Michigan Mike?
Man, you ready to talk about some college football?
Man, let's talk about some college football.
All right, let's go. So we have the new top 5 of the Big 5 conferences rankings.
I've been waiting all week for this one, Mike.
Yeah, it changed. Actually, dramatically, I think.
Well, let it rip.
The number 1 is still the same. It's going to be the SEC.
Okay.
Nothing changed there.
All right.
The number 2, though, we have the Big 12.
The Big 12, huh?
Yeah, Big 12 showed some fight. I mean, they still have Oklahoma and Baylor that are top ranked still.
Right.
And, I mean, Texas almost upset UCLA.
Right.
I know UCLA did play with their backup quarterback, but he looked pretty good, you know. He looked kind of like a young Troy Aikman. So,
nice.
Yeah, so they did pretty good. And number 3 would be Pac-12. They dropped down one spot. I mean, they don't seem as strong as last week. And, I mean, USC lost. So
They did to an unranked team.
Yeah, so we got to drop them down to number 3.
Okay.
Number 4 is the Big 10.
Wow, they climbed the way out of the cellar, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they're not number 5 anymore. They still have 4 teams in the top 25.
That doesn't get a lot of attention, by the way.
Right, and so, I mean, those 4 teams can still do well as far as voting, and I guess the voters, they're still getting some love from the voters outside. So that leaves number 5 with the ACC.
Wow.
I mean, the ACC has one good team, in my opinion, which is Florida State. And they only have 2 total ranked teams in the top 25, being the other one Clemson.
Oh, wow.
And we'll talk about that game. So Florida State plays Clemson this weekend. So if Clemson loses, which most likely it looks like that, then
They're done.
most likely they'll only have one team in the top 25. So let's go up to the matchups this week.
All right.
Thursday at 6:30 Central Time, we have Auburn at Kansas State.
How about matchup?
Yeah, they have Auburn favored by 9 points. I think Auburn's going to pull this one out.
You think
I mean,
so? 9
yeah,
points.
it's the SEC, you know, until they lose and show us otherwise, and I'm still going to choose the SEC on this one. Clemson versus Florida State at 7 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
Florida State is favored by double digits. They're favored by 20 points.
That's a lot of points, Mike.
That is a lot of points. So I'm going to have to choose Florida State on this one. I mean, I normally don't go for this 20-point favorite stuff.
So why now?
Clemson doesn't look as strong. I mean, I know they lost to Georgia, which, I mean, I think Florida State is better than Georgia.
I agree.
So I'm going to have to agree with Vegas on this one and go with Florida State, and I'm giving 20 points.
20 points.
The next one is, I think it's going under the radar. This matchup is pretty good. I mean, I'm excited to watch it. It's going to be Miami versus Nebraska.
All right, another Power 5 matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Nebraska is favored by 7 points. It's going to be at 7 p.m. as well, and I like Nebraska in this one. I'm going to give Big Ten some love on this one, and I think Nebraska will pull this one out. They're going to play and show Miami some Big Ten football and run it down their mouth and play some front seven. It's going to overpower their offense, I think. So,
Yeah. And Miami's offense really struggled against Louisville.
Yeah, that's true. So let's go back to Michigan's game last weekend. What did you think about that one?
They got off the schneid, Michigan, Mike, back in the win column, and I'm always happy about that.
That's true. They also, I mean, they still had 3 turnovers, though, which led to the 10 points on the scoreboard.
That is also true.
I don't know what it is, man. Why do they keep turning over the ball?
Well, Devin Gardner is, I don't know, Mike. It's so many things. Like, one of them was a fluke fumble on a kick return one week, and another week, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I think it's just, the offensive side of the ball, they're just not as focused. I mean, that's all, fundamentals and mentally strong. Like, you don't want to turn over the ball.
But we do have a new offensive coordinator. Could that also be an adjustment period deal as well?
Maybe they're scared of him. You know, that's true though. Like if your coach like is too scary, like they're like, oh, I don't want to mess up, and then they end up messing up more.
Right. I mean, he comes from the Saban tree, so you know he's pretty much a disciplinarian.
Yeah, that's true. So this week we play Utah versus Michigan, and Michigan is only favored by 5 points.
Where's the game, Michigan?
It's gonna be at Michigan.
Only 5 points?
Only 5 points. Hey, but Utah is part of the Pac-12, so we need that win.
That would be an impressive win, and for the conference, and definitely for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take Michigan on that one. Surprise. And that game is at 2:30 Central Time, and the over/under is 56 points, which means either it's gonna be a high-scoring game from both teams, or Michigan's just gonna blow them out.
If they don't turn the ball over, yeah, they can really put it up.
Hey, Michigan's defense has been looking good, so
that is true.
All right, now let's actually watching this game, and then I actually hung out with my dad and watched the Texas versus UCLA game because it was back in our neighborhood anyways.
Right on.
And we're watching the SEC highlights, and I kept seeing, 63 to like 40 or like 40 to like 20. They score all these points, the SEC does now, but they also allow all these points. And I brought it up saying, the SEC a couple years ago, they were known for their defense.
Right.
You remember those conference games? It was just like 7-6,
right?
12 to 14. It was just crazy.
Right. Total domination on one side.
Yeah, on defensive ball. I mean, that's the way I liked it. But he also asked me. He's like, well, they're not dominating defense, now. Then who is? Like, what conference is?
What conference has a dominating defense now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that was a good question. I spent like 30 minutes just debating it by myself.
So
yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I have to go with what I saw last year. Last year, I think it was hands down the Big Ten with Michigan State being the number one defense. I would have liked to seen Florida State versus Michigan State in the final championship game.
Right.
I mean, number one offense versus number one defense. I mean.
Right.
I wanted to see what happened. Michigan State never really got tested with a number one offense like that. So
and vice versa for Florida State. So
right.
Yeah, that would have been an excellent matchup.
A good matchup indeed. But this year I have to stick with Big Ten. I mean, we have good defenses. We probably about our top 4 have really good defenses. As you look at the other teams, I know Oklahoma has a good defense, but that's the only team in the Big 12 that I think has a really good defense.
Right. Come down to quarterback issues really for Michigan and Ohio State.
Right. I mean, we just struggle on offensive side of the ball.
Right.
So I'd like to see, that. I don't like to see 35 to 27 games or anything like that. I like to see 17-0. Yeah, right. I'm a throwback guy. I can't. When I see those points, I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know why the defense don't do that. You've seen me when I watch some football, even if it's not a Michigan game. I'm just yelling.
He's not exaggerating, ladies.
I just yell at the defense, no matter who you are or what. So,
that's true.
So yeah, I like the defense to come back, but then again, it's turning into an offensive college football league.
Right.
So I mean,
points are plenty.
But eventually, I think it'll come back to defensive players.
It always cycles.
Yeah, it always cycles. All right, well, that's going to be it for this week. If y'all have any questions or any matchups that I did not go over today, you can always reach me at Twitter at Michael Hasso. That's MichaelJasso. You always can reach my co-host at...
That's PL Coulter, PLCOLTER.
All right, and remember, you play to win the game. Go Blue.
Go Blue.